Hello students. So today in this session, I'll be starting with the new lesson, periodic classification of elements. So this is from your part 2 textbook chemistry lesson. So let us start with this lesson. Let us understand what are the topics which you are going to understand under this lesson. The topics to be covered in this lesson are periodic table, history of periodic table, Dobereiner triads, Newland's law of octaves, Mendeleev's periodic table, modern periodic table, trends in modern periodic table. So these are the various topics which we are going to understand in this lesson. Okay, now let us understand the first topic. What is meant by the periodic table? The periodic table is nothing but it's a tabular display. It's a display of a table. Periodic table is a display of a table. It's a tabular display of what? What are we going to display? What are we going to see in this display? So we are going to see the display of the chemical elements, and these chemical elements are organized on the basis of their atomic number. By this time you all are aware about what is atomic number, right? So these elements are organized, they are arranged on the basis of their atomic number and on the basis of electronic configuration and the chemical properties. Okay, so this periodic table of elements, they are organized on the basis of atomic number. You are already aware about atomic number, right? So in the class 9 we have understood some of the elements. Hope you have learned till the 30th element, right? So then what is atomic number? For example, if you look at this row, you can see that there are two elements, that is hydrogen and helium. So hydrogen is the first element, helium is the second element. And if you look at the second period, that is second row, there is third element, lithium, followed by beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon, right? So they are arranged in the way where their atomic numbers are in the increasing order. I mean, atomic number of hydrogen is 1, helium is 2, followed by lithium is 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6 and so on. So this is how the elements are arranged. They have arranged on the basis of their increasing order of their atomic number. And what about electronic configuration? You know about electronic configuration, right? I'll give you one example. For example, let us take the element oxygen. So oxygen is the 8th element and its atomic number is 8. Then how do we write electronic configuration for the oxygen? The electronic configuration of oxygen is 2, 6. Why 2, 6? Because you know there are shells, right? So on the first shell we can accommodate 2 electrons. On the second shell we can accommodate 6 electrons because there are totally 8 electrons. So this is how we write the electronic configuration. So I will teach you this in detail in my further slides. By now I just give an introduction because you're already aware about this topics, atomic number, electronic configuration, correct? So I have also told you that the elements are arranged on the basis of their chemical properties, right? If you observe this table, you can see that some of the elements are having same color. I mean, in this table, some of the elements are having same color, right? So we can say that these elements are having the same chemical properties. And if you look at some elements which are in the middle group, you can also say that these elements are having same electronic configuration. Okay, and I can also say that some of these elements are having same chemical properties and electronic configuration, and they are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. Hence, it is easy for us to study the periodic table. Okay, so this periodic table, it is a tabular display of what elements? Chemical elements. By this time you all understood right? So they are arranged, these elements are arranged on the basis of the atomic number, electronic configuration, and the chemical properties. Okay, so then we understood what is periodic table, right? So now, why should we study the periodic table? You should know why should we study the periodic table. So at present, we have 118 elements. At the beginning of the periodic table, I mean the beginning of the formation of the periodic table, there were only few elements. It started with almost 33 elements. Okay, so now at present we have 118 elements. And all these elements have the different properties. Okay, and now we have to somehow arrange these elements, because understanding or handling these elements individually, it is a big task. I mean, knowing the property of each element is a very big task. As I told you, there are 118 elements. We can't study the property of each and every element individually. It may be a very difficult task for us, right? Or to know what kind of reaction a particular element is undergoing, it is also a difficult task. To identify, it becomes difficult, right? So if we do not have this tabular column, what we call it as periodic table, then what happens, it was a very difficult situation to know each and every property of the element. I'll give you one of the example, which is correlating to your daily life. Why we have the periodic table? I just correlate the periodic table to your daily I mean, one of the example, daily life example. For example, if you go to a shop, maybe a grocery shop, you might have observed that the shopkeeper must have arranged everything in the particular order. For example, if there are soaps, or if there are some biscuits, or if there are some groceries like cereals, pulses, whatever it may be, right? So he arranged all these things in a particular order, right? So then what happens? Just imagine now, if all these things are mixed, if they're clumsed, what happened? It is difficult for the shopkeeper if a customer come and ask for a particular thing. For example, if he mix everything at and keep it kept at one place, it may be difficult for a shopkeeper when customer come and ask for particular thing. He starts searching, right? So to avoid that, what happened, the shopkeeper arranged all the soaps at one corner, biscuits at another corner, and the cereals, pulses at another corner. So by this, what happened, it is easy for the shopkeeper when the customer comes and asks for anything, he can easily pick. For example, if customer asks for a soap, he know where the soaps are kept, he can easily pick the soaps and give, right? Followed by the customer asks for some other thing, he can also pick that easily and give, because everything are systematically arranged. He arranged to make easy for him, correct? So similarly, the periodic table also consisting of element, and these elements having similar chemical properties are arranged at one place, and having same electronic configurations are arranged at one place, and which are having the what is that, the elements that are having the atomic number, when increasing, or if the elements are having the various atomic number, those elements which are having the various atomic number are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Okay, so now, increasing order of their atomic number. So now the one more question is, we have understood what is a periodic table, and we also learned why should we study the periodic table, right? Now, why do we call it as a periodic table? Tell me. So you can, I told you this is a periodic table, right? So why do we call this as a periodic table? It is because, in the periodic table, the elements, they repeat the physical and the chemical properties after the periodic interval. For example, if you look at the sodium, calcium, and followed by some other elements till this. Okay, so if you look at this, what happened, we can say that these elements, or what happened, they repeat their physical and chemical properties. Suppose if they repeat their physical and chemical properties, what happened, it is easy for the one who is studying the periodic table to know about those elements. Okay, these elements are repeating their properties. Periodic interval means they're repeating their properties. Hence, it is called as period. So then why it is table? Because these elements are arranged in the tabular form. As the elements are arranged in the tabular form, it is called as table. And together we call it as the periodic table. Okay? So now, in my next slide, I'll just give the small introduction about the next things which we are going to study. So later, I'll be explaining those topics individually in detail. I'll be explaining these topics individually in detail. Now, let us study about the history of the periodic table. Firstly, in 1789, there was only 33 elements during that time actually. So in 1789, a person by the name Antony Leviezer, he is the person. So he published the list of 33 elements. He grouped the elements into metals, non-metals, gases and the earths. This earth is the alkali earth metals. Okay, I repeat, in 1789 there were only 33 elements, and these 33 elements, this list was published by the Antony Leviezer. He grouped these elements, the 33 elements, as gases, metals, non-metals and the alkali earth. Clear? And that was the first effort made by the Leviezer to group these elements, and then followed by the Leviezer, the another scientist. Okay, so next followed by the Leviezer in 1829. In 1829, Dobereiner. So the Dobereiner observed that many of the elements could be grouped into triads. I'll tell you what the Dobereiner did. Okay, so after the first effort made by the Leviezer, the Dobereiner grouped the elements into triads. What is meant by triads? I'll just give a hint by now. Okay, triads means it's a group which consists of 3 elements. I repeat, the triads means the group which consists of 3 elements. Based on these triads, based on their chemical properties, the Dobereiner observed the atomic mass of the middle element is equal to the mean of the first and third element. I'll explain you in detail further, but I'll give you an idea because you will not understand what I'm telling now. So I told you that he arranged the elements by looking at their atomic weight, and he also saw that the mean of, I told you, the mean of the middle element, it is the average of first and third element. For example, if the element A and B and C, if these are the 3 elements, if the atomic weight of element A is 2 and atomic element of weight element C is 6, if you add 2 plus 6, okay, and you divide by 2, how much you get? You get 8 divided by 2, that is 2 ones are 2, 4s are 8. This 4 is the average atomic mass of the middle element. So I will repeat. So Dobereiner grouped the elements into triads. The groups which consist of 3 elements. So he grouped these elements based on their chemical properties, and he observed the atomic mass of the middle element. Atomic mass of the middle element. As I told you, if suppose I'm giving an example, if the element is A, B and C, and if element A is having the atomic number 2, element C is having the atomic number 6, so then the atomic mass or the weight of the middle element is the average of first and third element. How? How do you know? 2 plus 6, you divide by 2, you will get, it is 8 divided by 2. So it is 2 ones are 2 fours are, right? 4. So this 4 is now, it is the atomic weight. It is the average atomic weight of the middle element. I will discuss in detail in my further slide when I'm explaining the law of triads. Hope you all clear, right? And the one more thing which you have to remember is we also have studied about the atomic weight. The atomic theory. Who gave the atomic theory? The atomic theory was given by the John Dalton. You study about the atomic theory, right? In 1804, it is during 1804, John Dalton, right? He gave the atomic theory, and he said that, the John Dalton said that everything is made up of a small particles. Everything in the universe, it is made up of the small particles called atoms. Correct? And these particles are unbreakable. So it was said by John Dalton. So many scientists also believe the same. So if we see, for example, hydrogen. So I'm giving a small idea about how did we get the atomic weight. Okay, so for example, if we combine hydrogen and oxygen, what happened? Together we get water. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to form the water, right? So now this hydrogen is also having some weight. This element hydrogen is also having some weight. Oxygen is also having some weight, and reactants, when they combine, what happened? Those two weights are also combining. As a result, the product also gets some weight. So this is how the atomic weight was found in the earlier days. Okay. So next, in 1866, a scientist by the name John Newland, he used the atomic masses to arrange the elements. We have seen that the Dobereiner arranged the elements based on the chemical properties. I repeat, Dobereiner arranged the elements based on the chemical properties, whereas the Newland, this person, Newland, he arranged the elements according to the increasing order of their atomic masses. And John Newland found that every eighth element had the property similar to that of the first element. How can we say this? How can we understand this? For example, if there are some elements, for example, there is element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are, for example, there are 10 elements. What happened? The property of first element, for example, the property of this element is similar to the property of the eighth element. The property of first element and the eighth element are same. They are almost similar. So this was said by the John Newland, and he also gave the name for this arrangement as the law of octaves. And presently it is also known as the Newland's law of octaves. Followed by, in 1869, another scientist by the name Mendeleev. So he arranged the elements based on the fundamental properties, atomic masses, and also based on the similar chemical properties. What Mendeleev did was, Mendeleev arranged the elements. He arranged the elements based on their fundamental properties. And he arranged the elements on the basis of atomic mass and the chemical properties. How the chemical properties? For example, there were so many elements, right? Almost there were 63 elements by the time the Mendeleev started to do the periodic table, started to arrange the periodic elements in the periodic table. So all these 63 elements were arranged on the basis of their chemical properties. He reacted each and every element with the hydrogen and the oxygen, because the chemical equations were very familiar during that time. Okay, so the Mendeleev, he has arranged the elements on the chemical properties. He reacted the element along with the hydrogen as well as oxygen. As a result, he got a chemical compound. So on the basis of that, he also formed the chemical equations. Okay, so based on this, what happened? The Mendeleev arranged the elements in the periodic table. So there were some limitations in Mendeleev periodic table by this time. So that was being again it was being corrected by a person called Henry Moseley in 1913. Henry Moseley is a person. He showed that in spite of arranging the elements on the basis of the increasing order of their atomic mass, we can arrange the elements on the basis of atomic number. In spite of, as I told you, the Mendeleev arranged on the basis of atomic mass, Henry Moseley said, in spite of arranging the elements on the basis of atomic mass, we can arrange on the basis of atomic number, because atomic number was the best way to arrange the elements. Okay. So based on the atomic number, if we arrange the element, what happened? We can easily identify the elements according to their increasing order, as well as their chemical properties and the fundamental properties of those elements. So